Welcome to Fresh Off the Set. I'm Kari Hawker-Diaz.
And I'm Brooke Mangum. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. And we're already giggling over here.
We really are. I'm embarrassed to even talk about this.
I'm so embarrassed.
Are you organized, Brooke?
You already know this answer. Our desks are by each other. And the only reason why mine is quote unquote clean is because I don't bring anything to work. I've just hidden it in my car. But I've also seen the backseat of your car.
I mean, you have. You'd be impressed with my new one. I've set a limit.
Proud
and
of you,
said
Kari.
I need to take things in from my car, but my closet. So I have, it's funny because like, I feel like I'm messy organized. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I kind of know where things are. Things are in like sections. I have work section.
Yes.
I have play section. I have what was I thinking section. Like,
Maybe I'll fit in this one day section.
Yeah, I got that one too.
I do colors. So I have like all of my, I wear a lot of black. So I have like black on one big row and then we've got like colors together. So I organize in colors. Is yours organized in any way?
No, I try and put the shirts by the other shirts. Okay, let's play a game. Let's play a game
here we go.
I want you to describe your closet in 5 words or less.
Oh gosh. Okay, chaos. Floors covered.
Okay.
No, that's 2 words. Colorful.
Okay.
And a mystery.
A mystery. Ready for mine? World War II bombing is what's happened in my closet. There's things everywhere. And then my daughter goes in and she likes to play dress up in there too. And I'm going to blame it on her, but it's me. It's for sure me. But you know what I will say? If my closet was organized, my life would be better.
It's so much easier. And you know what? Jaymes, I spoke with her. She gives us some amazing tips on how to get out in the morning faster because your closet's just organized to a T. She's awesome. Should we give it a listen?
Let's do it.
I have been looking forward to the guest today on our podcast, Jaymes, for a very long time. Caitlin, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Sure. Okay. We've had you on the show on Fresh Living, but it's fun to get to talk to you on our podcast. Let's just start with, how did you get into closet organizing? How does one even start?
Yeah, you know what? It was actually such a fluke. So I started doing styling. I was working at kind of like a retail styling company. I was meant to make a quota at the end of the month, and I had a new client, and she said, instead of me just shopping with you first, can you come to my closet and see what's missing? So I went to her closet, and I actually started making outfits with what she already owned, and I had like that devil angel moment of, do I sell her things that are really expensive that her wardrobe really doesn't need to make my quota, or can I just make new outfits? I ended up just making outfits with her, taking a bunch of stuff out of her closet to play around with it, and then I put it back. And then I got a text from her like a week later, and she goes, hey, can you come reorganize my closet next month? I want to put you on like a once a month touch-up schedule. And I looked at my now husband and I was like, I'm not an organizer. What does she mean? I don't even know what that means. And so that's kind of how it all started. And I just realized that there weren't many stylists that were really paying attention to how the closet is displayed. And it was just such a miss in the market. So that's kind of how it all started.
That's so cool. That's so fun. Okay. And what is closet editing? How is it different from organizing?
Totally. So closet edits is another word for a closet clean out. And that's something that you always want to do before you organize. It's really something you should really be doing even before you go shopping. And my favorite part of a closet clean out, obviously you're getting rid of pieces that you no longer want to wear. You're getting rid of the clutter, but you're also seeing what your wardrobe is missing. And that's like the crucial part so that you can kind of make that grocery list for when you do go shopping and you know exactly what to shop for. Organizing is really just a way of mixing in functional but also aesthetic techniques to make sure that you can create a really nice display in your closet, something that you definitely can maintain. That's so important. But my goal is to always make a closet look like a boutique at the end of it. So that's kind of like my self-care little activity that I do.
Ooh, I would love my closet to look like a boutique. That makes it exciting, instead of just like, oh, I got to go into my closet and search through all these things and try to find something. Because you're right. If you are just continuing to organize your closet and you're not editing and, taking out, then you're not going to really go anywhere with it, right?
Definitely. It's such a crucial part in having a complete capsule wardrobe and just really figuring out your sense of style.
Okay. And speaking of style, you are also a stylist. When did you know you wanted to style people for a living?
Yeah, it's so funny because someone asked me this the other day, and I know this is so cheesy and like kind of doesn't even sound true, but my dad said my first word was outfit. And I just feel like
Oh,
that is just such a like, I mean, full circle moment. And I'm like, even if it's not true at this point, it just sounds so good. But no, he always tells me that was my first word. So I just always think that like it's just been a passion of mine from the beginning. And in college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with fashion. I'm born and raised in LA, so I felt like it was just unrealistic for some reason to want to become a stylist. So I went into the merchandising side of it into when I was in school, and I just hated that. It was like not creative enough. Then I went into the design element, and I hated that because that was too creative. And I just always feel like I always was that girl in college and high school that I would always help my friends come up with outfits. And so when I knew styling was a job, I was like, wow, okay, that just sounds like what I already do for my friends on the side. So I might as well just do it for a living.
yeah. And wow, outfit. That's a big first word.
Isn't
That's
that
impressive.
so funny? I know. Wow. I mean, I'm sure my first word was like mama or something, but
Usually
he
it
said
is.
it's
Usually
yeah,
it's
he
mama,
said it was like,
dada, so that's a big one.
right. Yeah. He was like, okay, that was your first like adult word, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
or toddler word.
Meant to be. That's very, very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you make a career out of being a stylist?
Yeah, so I would say I think that the best thing that someone can do if they want to be a stylist is to really figure out whether you want to go into the celebrity world. I would always recommend doing as many internships as you can. That was actually something I didn't do because I fell into celebrity styling on my own. But if you're someone that just wants to style the everyday person, which I do a ton of and I really love doing, I would say get retail experience first because then you can work with so many different pieces. It's really important that you're knowledgeable about people's body types and certain brands that work well for certain body types. So I would think that that would be like the best place to start. And then from there, I would just start working on the side. I started working on the side as I had a 9-to-5 job, and I ended up quitting my 9-to-5 job when I figured out that I could make just as much money on the side working 2 days a week. And that really gave me the motivation to just go full force and just do it for a living. But I would say like getting as much experience with a big demographic, working with men, working with women, working with 18-year-olds, but also 75-year-olds. So you can just get a really big demographic of clients.
Sure. And help everyone. Okay. You mentioned a little bit with celebrity clients. People want to know, how'd you get into working with celebrity clients? And can you name some of your previous ones?
Yeah, so for styling, again, I would say free work is going to be your best friend. And I know that's a tough one for people to hear. There's so many times where people would say, like, we can pay you in lunch for the day. And I just did it at the beginning. And I would just say that if you want to work in the celebrity world, a lot of it obviously is about your skill, but it's also about trust. So I think if you create a good rapport with the client, if they're very comfortable with you, I feel like sometimes in the celebrity world, they just want to work with people too that they can really trust, that they're comfortable with. So my first celebrity client was a girl who filmed on Selling Sunset. Her name was Rae Young at the time. Now she's El Moussa. But she was my first celebrity client because I had reached out to a photographer in Orange County offering my services for free. And she was like, you know what? I would love a stylist for the day because I'm doing a celebrity photo shoot. That's how I got my first one. My second celebrity client that I worked with on a daily basis, I would say, is Jowsey. Super fun guy to work with. And then for organizing, I've gotten to work with a few clients under NDA, which is always a bummer, but I've gotten to work with Glenn Powell, Madison Beer, to name a few. So it's just been really fun. It's a very, very fast-paced industry. So something different every day for sure.
Yeah, you've worked with some great ones. We love Selling Sunset over here. We love that show. How are celebrity clients different from other clients besides the obvious that they are famous?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely about their lifestyle. And I always tell clients, people who are looking to get into the celebrity world, whatever industry you're in, you really have to be willing. Like, there's no kind of like, oh, I work a 9-to-5 and I'm not available these hours. Like, it's 911 for like a piece of underwear. So you definitely have to know that that's going to be your main priority. And in the sense of styling, I really would say like my everyday clients, it's really less about trends sometimes and just more about creating versatile pieces that are best for their lifestyle, how to take their style and just really make it the best that they can be. Not everybody is focused on trends. Celebrities, it's kind of their jobs to emulate trends. So you're really having to be the expert on what's going to get photographed. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Okay, you cut out a little bit on the end. Say that one last part.
Oh, I was just saying that for celebrity styling, you're kind of the expert when it comes to forecasting trends, and you're styling based on trends versus the everyday person is just, wanting to look good in what they're going to wear in their specific style.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, you mentioned, sometimes it can be like 911 for underwear. Is there anything, you don't have to mention names, but like what's the craziest, most wildest like request or something that you've had to do?
Oh my gosh. Well, I used to, or I still do for Harry. We work with Netflix a ton, and we'll do like social media skits for some of their upcoming Netflix shows. And Harry, if you guys don't know him, he's 6'5", like a huge guy, and he's very masculine. And usually what we do is replicate the outfits that a lot of the celebrities in the show or in the movie are wearing, and he'll interview them and surprise them. Most of the time they're female. So it's amazing. I work with like a costume designer, and we did like one of the best ones was Gigi Hadid's Met Gala look, which is this huge red gown, and I had to fly to New York with it. I should send you the photo. It's hilarious. Like I had to fly to New York. I'm 5 foot. The dress in itself packaged down was probably 6 feet and like weighed like, I don't even know, like 100 pounds. It was wild. So flew to New York with that. He got to surprise her in her Met Gala look. I just said yes to that project, knowing like I have no idea how I'm going to make this work, but that's kind of my thing as an entrepreneur. You just say yes and then you figure it out later.
True.
So I'm so happy I did, because that was my most memorable project for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You just kind of figure it out. So with something like that, if there's an expensive piece that you're traveling with, I imagine, do you carry it on or do you check it, or how does that work?
Oh, my anxiety was through the roof. It was my first time traveling with something that big. I mean, I had gone to Paris with him for the same activity and or skit, but I could put it in a suitcase at least. And I did have to check it. And believe me, it was like, I've never been so anxious in my life, because, clothes, it's like a one-time thing. If you don't have it, they can't do it. So
Sure.
It's funny, like it's such a behind the scenes job, but it's such a like crazy big part of somebody's life, or, the skit. So it was pretty wild.
Yeah, that sounds wild for sure. What is one piece of advice that you would give our listeners to help them better organize their own closets if we are like, okay, we don't know where to start?
I would always make sure, if you could only do one thing, I would say make sure that your clothing is in categories. Basically, I know this sounds crazy if you're someone who's not organized, but you want to be almost driving in your car. And if you were to ask your husband to grab you the pink dress that you're thinking of in your head, you should almost be able to tell him like where that is in your closet.
Wow.
And I think, yeah, like it really having things in categories will also help you get dressed so much quicker, because you're not just flipping through a bunch of pieces in your closet. You can say like, okay, I know I want to wear these pants. Now I need a white t-shirt. I'm only looking at this one section. The biggest tip I learned in retail is when you give yourself less options, you're more likely to make a decision quicker, which kind of sounds obvious, but something I learned that I put into all my organizing appointments.
Okay. And when you say organize in, like, do you mean colors? Do you mean like all dresses together, all jackets together, or like by color? What do you mean by that?
I honestly mean both, but if you had to pick one, like if I said there was only one way to organize your closet, it would always just be in categories. And I mean, separating shorts from jeans, from, your blazers, that is going to be the biggest thing. But of course, as an organizer, I also color coordinate within those categories. So if you had all your blazers, I would, go from light to dark with the blazers. Your t-shirts, I would go from light to dark, and then I would separate by short sleeve from long sleeve. So there's so many little things that you can do, but if anybody's listening and you're getting overwhelmed, I always say whatever you can maintain is the right solution for you. So don't get, like overwhelmed if you go on Instagram and you see all these pretty organizing techniques and you think I could never maintain it, then that just means it's not going to work for you, and that there's no right or wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that helps. So categorize, so maybe do like, you're going to have your jeans, your jackets, and then in each category, have the colors kind of together. And, it really takes the stress out of in the morning, for us that work early mornings, trying to figure out what to wear. You're not trying to find something, exactly where everything is. I imagine it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, it's so funny. I used to have a little segment on my website when you first opened it up, and they always say as part of a morning routine is something that helps reduce anxiety and stress throughout the day. And making your bed is usually the number one thing that they say to do to reduce anxiety in your daily routine. And I always say you're starting your day in your closet every single day. Even if you're sick at home, you're going to grab sweatpants or pajamas. So why open up your closet and be stressed and cluttered all the time? At least have that part organized.
Oh, that's really good advice. Okay, what about picking an outfit? Do you have one piece of advice you can share for that?
Yeah, I would say my best piece of advice is I call it almost an outfit recipe. And basically, a foolproof way of picking out an outfit is creating balance in your outfit. And I'll explain that. So, if you're wearing a skinny jean or a really tight pant, you're going to want to choose something with a little bit more volume on top instead of doing a tight pant and then a tight bodysuit. If you had that combo, I would say, okay, now we have to add in a blazer or a trench coat, something with, or, an oversized sweater, something with volume to balance out the skinnier jean. If you're wearing a wide leg jean or a boyfriend baggier jean or a baggy trouser, you're going to want something tight on top or something that you can at least tuck in. So I think that takes a lot of the guesswork out of getting ready. So if you know that you want to wear a certain style pant, figure out what balance is going to look good with those pants. And that way you're only focused again on one part of your wardrobe. Instead of looking at all of your t-shirts, you can say, okay, a tight top that's going to be in this section. I only have 5 things to choose from. That'll really help you get dressed quickly.
That helps. Okay. Side note, how do you feel about skinny jeans?
I feel like that will forever be the question. It's so funny. Aside from style, like people always say, skinny jeans are timeless. I would say 9 out of 10 of my female clients, none of us think skinny jeans are the most flattering. They're so tight and they show everything. Like they're just not forgiving. And most of my clients, there's always pieces or parts of your body that you want to accentuate, of course, but there's also areas that you want to conceal. So I just don't really love the look of a skinny jean. And I just don't think that they're the most. Obviously, they're outdated, but of course, as I said, working with the everyday person, you're not always focused on trends. So my job as a stylist is to style anything and to make anything work. So of course I could style them, but they're never going to be my favorite.
Okay. No, that's good, honest advice. If we are used to wearing skinny jeans and we're like, we don't know what to do next, is there a jean that you're like, try this one?
If you're saying that you want to branch out from a skinnier jean?
Yeah.
So there is a jean that I'll always give my clients that they're like, I don't want a baggy boyfriend jean, but I want something a skinny jean. And one of my favorite pairs is from EB Denim. It's called their split hem OG jean, I believe. And then also Favorite Daughter does a high rise Valentina baby boot cut jean. Those are 2 great jeans that they're still going to be a nice high rise. They're going to be tight on your thigh, tight on your butt. So you're not going to get like a saggy butt situation, but then they flare out a little bit at the bottom. And I'm not talking about like a 70s type of style.
Yeah.
Just a slight flare at the bottom to give it a little bit more volume. I also think they're way more versatile because then since they're a little bit of a mix between tight and volume on the bottom, you have way more top options to choose from than a skinny jean. So check out those 2 for sure.
Okay, that helps. If we're ready to branch out from the skinny jean. Thank you for that. Caitlin, how can we shop smarter? What is your advice?
Okay, so I mentioned the closet edit and making that grocery list. That running list of items that you need to shop for is going to save you. If you're someone that's like, I need a new wardrobe and I don't know where to start because I want to be budget friendly, that's going to save you too. So aside from doing a closet clean out and then noticing what's missing from your wardrobe, start to make a list as you're getting dressed. So for example, if you got dressed and you had a cute top that you wanted to wear and you noticed it would look really good with a white trouser, but you don't have that white trouser in your closet, add it to the list. Then again, you're shopping smarter. You know exactly what's missing from your wardrobe. And when you get those pieces, you're going to always have complete outfits in your wardrobe. I do this all the time and I'll be so specific. The other day I had a tight that I wanted to wear with a dress, but the tight I owned wasn't sheer enough. So I put on my list a sheer tight and then the next day ordered it. And now I have a complete outfit in my wardrobe.
That makes sense. So instead of like just standing back and looking at your closet thinking, okay, maybe I need this, maybe I need this, you're actually doing it from experience. When you're standing there putting on an outfit, you're knowing like, I wish I had this top to go with this blazer. I'm going to write that down for next time.
Yeah. And I just think that it's so overwhelming. Even as a stylist, like I'll stand in a department store and I'll be like, oh my God, where do I start? Or like online shopping. Wow. Like we have every single piece of clothing at our fingertips. So it's like, where do you start? And I think the biggest thing is that people also don't know what to shop for. So that list is really going to help you figure out what you should shop for and what to prioritize when you're buying pieces.
Yeah, that's helpful. Okay, and your own social media platforms have exploded with hundreds of thousands of followers. What do you think it is about your content that you think people connect with?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people like more of the educational part of fashion. I find that there's a lot, like when I first started out, I would just try to kind of do what I saw fashion influencers do, which is like stand back, show a cute outfit, and then that's the end of the video and you have a song behind it and that was it. And then I figured, you know what? I'm actually terrible at aesthetic. Like I can never figure out the right lighting. Like I hate the lighting. I'm so picky. And I was like, I'm just going to talk to my clients because I love making sure that my appointments when I'm working with clients are educational so that people feel like, I can't be in your closet, unfortunately, 24/7. So you have to be able to learn things on your own so that you can get yourself dressed. And so I always figured like, okay, I'm good at talking to the camera instead of having to make an aesthetic. So I really try to make it educational so that you almost feel like you don't need me after a while. And I feel like maybe that's something that people aren't doing as much in the fashion world. And I try to make fashion accessible instead of like, oh, look at me in this designer piece that, half the world probably isn't going to afford. So I just think it's nice to be relatable and just help people more so than, tell them exactly what to buy all the time.
So true. And I think, interviewing you on Fresh Living and then also now you can tell, I think what helps you too is you can tell how much you love what you do and how passionate you are about helping people organize their closets, edit their closets, style them. You really love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I will say I do love the editing. That's like my favorite service is the editing and the lookbooks because I really do feel good about making people feel really confident in their clothing. For me, it's like, I feel like as females, we're always standing in the mirror nitpicking, everything about ourselves. But the one thing that I feel like gives me the most confidence every day and like forever that I can think of is just my outfit. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe my makeup is not the best today, or I don't feel super cute today, but I love my outfit. Yeah. So I like giving that experience to someone else.
Oh, so good. Okay, quickly. The new aesthetic is Mob Wife. We've seen that this year. Do you like it or do you like clean girl aesthetic better?
It's so funny. I just think Mob Wife is like, it's just a new name for something that's already been around for so long. And I love it, but it's just funny. It's like saying, oh, of course, if you live on the East Coast or somewhere where it's snowing, you're probably going to have a faux fur jacket. And it's like, that's just been around forever. So I think it looks so cool. I just thought it was hilarious that now it's like considered the Mob Wife aesthetic. Like, I just thought that was like, to me, that's a winter staple. For my everyday wardrobe, I would probably go with more of like the clean girl neutral aesthetic.
Okay.
It's just a little bit more practical for my lifestyle. I also live in LA. So, I'm not getting super cold weather. So I honestly, as much as I love a faux fur jacket, I personally didn't update mine this year because I have nowhere to wear it. So that was not like a priority piece for me, but I really do love both styles.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, and you designed a new product. Tell us about it.
Yes. So as I said, I organize and work in LA. I had so many clients that had a ton of swimwear. And again, I always make sure that the solutions I'm doing are maintainable. And you don't need to be a professional organizer to use my product, which is like the best thing. And it combines function and aesthetic perfectly. And I would notice that when I would organize my clients' bikinis, they would always say like, oh, don't even worry about organizing that drawer. I'm not going to be able to maintain, that perfect fold. Just throw them in there. And I would like get into my car like tweaking because I'm like, oh my gosh, I did a terrible job. I can't believe they asked me to skip that drawer. And then I had a client that used her, the packaging that her fancy bikinis would come in, but she only had a few of them. And so I kept thinking like, oh, it'd be so nice if we had a lot of them to organize all your swimwear. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, light bulb moment. I need to make my own bags. And again, I just like that you don't have to be a professional to use them. You pack your swimsuit in the bag, zip it up, stack it in your drawer, throw it in a bin. They're so easy to use. And I even use them as a travel tool. I'll put my wet swimsuits when I'm traveling in the summer, if I'm going somewhere tropical. And I swear, I traveled throughout Europe last summer for 2 weeks, put my swimsuits in there, put my husband's swim trunks in there, didn't mold, didn't mildew, our, suitcase smelled fresh still. And I was just like, oh, okay, I love this product. So I was excited to share it with other people. And I'm so glad that it was received well.
Oh, that's so amazing. Okay, where can we follow you if we want more advice or to hire you and then also get your new product?
Yes. So CaitlinJaymes.com. And then my socials on TikTok and Instagram are Caitlin_Jaymes. And I'm sure you'll have to put Caitlin and Jaymes in the show notes because there's so many different ways to spell it.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's just so great talking to you.
We appreciate you so much. Okay, quickly, we're going to do Fresh 5 to get to know you a little better. Are we ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Okay, taco or burrito?
Ooh, taco.
Workout at home or workout at gym or in a class?
Workout at home for sure.
Live on a farm or live in a cabin in the forest?
Farm. That's like what people don't know about me. I aspire to live on a farm one day.
Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. Crunchy peanut butter or smooth?
Crunchy.
And cilantro or no?
Yes, cilantro.
You love it. Okay, good.
Love it.
I feel like there's a strong opinion with that. People love it or hate it.
I know some people think it tastes like soap. My dad's a doctor and he told me that it's like some like makeup, I guess, in your whatever, your taste buds or something, but
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah, it's a real thing for sure. Okay. Well, Caitlin, thank you so much for chatting with me today. We appreciate you. We've learned so much.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you for listening to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. Please rate, review, and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.